When most people think of Taiwan, they envision a vibrant island rich in culture, renowned for its street food, stunning landscapes, and technological innovations that drive the global economy, with President Donald Trump hailing TSMC, one of the country's biggest companies, as one of the most powerful in the world. Often viewed as a peaceful democracy in the heart of East Asia, Taiwan has developed a strong identity marked by resilience and determination. Yet this perception is evolving, as Taiwan is quickly transforming into China's worst nightmare. What happens out here in the Taiwan Strait isn't just about Taiwan and China. It's got the potential to spark a global conflict that could threaten all of us. China says it's time for its breakaway province to return to the motherland. But Taiwan is standing up to China. Situated just off the coast of China, with a population smaller than some of China's megacities, Taiwan might not seem like a major player at first glance. But it's far more than just a small island. It has a strong economy, a proud sense of identity, and plays a key role in global politics. As tensions with China grow, Taiwan has become the center of one of the world's most dangerous standoffs. This small island is more important and powerful than most people think. As it faces pressure from both China and the US, one big question remains. What's next for this island in the middle of it all? How is such a small island playing a huge role in global politics? Today on Across the Globe, we'll be looking at why Taiwan is becoming China's worst nightmare. The Chinese Civil War, a long and bloody conflict that spanned from the late 1920s until 1949, saw more than 2 million soldiers die or become wounded in combat, and close to 5 million civilians die as a result of combat. And this brutal battle marked a significant turning point in not only China's history, but Taiwan's too. The war pitted the nationalist Kuomintang KMT, led by Chiang Kai-shek, against the Communist Party of China, spearheaded by Mao Zedong. As the war came to a conclusion in 1949, Mao's side won, establishing the People's Republic of China, PRC, on the mainland. In the aftermath of this loss, Chiang Kai-shek and his supporters retreated to Taiwan, continuing to claim that they were the legitimate government of all of China. This led to the concept of two Chinas, the PRC on the mainland, which views Taiwan as a breakaway province, and the Republic of China, ROC, in Taiwan, which maintained its claim over all of China until 1991, when it formally dropped that position and shifted its focus to governing Taiwan. The split between China and Taiwan created a complicated situation for the rest of the world. At first, Taiwan held China's seat at the United Nations, but over time, most countries began recognizing Beijing as the official Chinese government. As the People's Republic of China rose to global power, it pushed its one China policy, forcing countries to choose between official ties with Taiwan or Beijing. This has weakened Taiwan's formal diplomatic relationships, even though many nations still work with it unofficially. But as both sides continue to navigate this complicated history, Taiwan's growing sense of identity and independence stands in direct opposition to China's goals. What Beijing sees as a breakaway province has become something far more powerful, a symbol of democratic resilience and defiance in the face of authoritarian pressure. And in many ways, that makes Taiwan China's worst nightmare. Taiwan's story is a powerful reminder of what's at stake when people fight to protect their freedom, identity, and autonomy in a world that's constantly trying to control or silence them. And while most of us aren't facing geopolitical pressure from a global superpower, many of us are dealing with something a little closer to home. Our personal information being bought, sold, and misused online. That's where our sponsor comes in. Hey, my name is Trace. I don't look too familiar because I'm behind the scenes here at Across the Globe. Lately, it seems like data privacy is a really hard thing to come by. If your day is anything like mine, you get calls, texts, emails from people or businesses wanting something from you. And that's just what you know about. Data brokers deal in your personal information and, in the wrong hands, can result in something much worse than an annoying text or an email. Bad actors can use your information to take out loans in your name, among other terrible things. However, it doesn't have to be this way, and there is a solution. All this brings me to today's sponsor, Incogni. You have a right to data privacy. Incogni makes it incredibly easy to access data brokers and other entities that trade in your personal information and have it removed. You know those texts that you receive telling you that you have a toll fee or something like that due? Well, this is a scam, and Incogni is a strong tool that you can use to eliminate these types of things. Isn't it wild that there's companies out there that deal 100% in violating your privacy? Here's how it works. You sign up for Cogni and give them consent to act on your behalf. They immediately go to work searching for a data list that contain your information and demand your information be removed. If these data brokers push back, Incogni will continue to push on them until your information is permanently removed. If you want to be free from spam, use the code across the globe at the link below or in the QR code at the bottom right of your screen to get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan and start your journey to a freedom that you haven't known for a long time. And it helps us continue to provide the content you love. Now, back to the video. Today, despite what many might assume is a quiet status quo, tensions between China and Taiwan are still boiling beneath the surface. In March 2025, Chatham House stated that there is a storm brewing across the Taiwan Strait, a 180-kilometer wide strait separating the island of Taiwan and the Asian continent. They noted that China has increased its military activity around Taiwan and deployed new landing barges in the South China Sea. To better understand the complexities of this ongoing rivalry, we must delve deeper into the two countries' historical context. Notably, how as China grappled with the aftermath of the Cultural Revolution, Taiwan was undergoing a transformation of its own. While China was contending with the social and economic upheaval following the Cultural Revolution, Taiwan was quietly undergoing a profound makeover that would reshape its identity on the global stage. Between the 1960s and the 1990s, Taiwan experienced rapid industrialization, transitioning from an agrarian society to a powerhouse of manufacturing and technology, becoming a key member of the Four Asian Tigers, alongside South Korea, Singapore, and Hong Kong. This period saw the rise of influential tech companies like TSMC, a global leader in semiconductor manufacturing, specializing in the production of integrated circuits and chips, and Foxconn, a multinational electronics manufacturing company headquartered in Taiwan. Together, these two powerhouse companies have helped position Taiwan as a key node in the global electronics and chip manufacturing supply chain. As the island advanced economically, it also evolved into a vibrant democracy, marked by free elections and a burgeoning civil society that stood in stark contrast to China's state-controlled economy and pervasive censorship. While only 110 miles of water separate mainland China and the island of Taiwan, life is very different in each country, particularly in terms of freedom. In 2021, China's government, with a massive population of 989 million internet users, was ranked as the world's worst abuser of internet freedom for the 7th consecutive year. That same year, Taiwan emerged as the 5th freest online environment among the 70 countries assessed. This growing difference has strengthened Taiwan's sense of identity and highlighted the deep divide between the two sides, adding to the ongoing tension today. But there's an even bigger factor that makes Taiwan appear as both a potential threat to China and a straight-up necessity. Taiwan doesn't just make chips. It makes the world's most advanced chips. The relationship between China and Taiwan is intricately linked to Taiwan's major advancements in semiconductor manufacturing, which have allowed the island to outshine China in this critical sector. Often called the most important company in the world, TSMC well and truly dominates the global landscape, producing 60% of the world's semiconductors, and over 90% of the most advanced ones that are essential for a wide range of technologies, from smartphones to artificial intelligence. Both the United States and China depend heavily on TSMC for their semiconductor supply, making Taiwan's role in the global tech industry both important and risky. This dependency has given rise to the concept of the Silicon Shield, which suggests that Taiwan's advanced chip industry serves as a deterrent against potential military conflict. An invasion would jeopardize not only Taiwanese prosperity, but also the technological advancements of both superpowers. Additionally, as the U.S. imposes export bans on Chinese technology to curtail Beijing's capabilities, China's reliance on Taiwan for cutting-edge chips only deepens. making the stakes of the Taiwan-China relationship increasingly critical. In this situation, Taiwan's chip industry not only shows how important it is to the world, but also strengthens its sense of identity as it pushes back against China's efforts to claim control. For China, Taiwan represents more than a mere territorial dispute. It's a strategic nightmare and a constant reminder of what could have been if the Chinese Civil War had ended differently. Situated next door to China is a thriving, Chinese-speaking democracy that exemplifies the possibility of an alternative model to China's authoritarian rule, striking fear into the hearts of the Communist Party leadership. Interestingly, the official dialect of China is Mandarin, and more than 70% of the Chinese population speak it. But next door, 83.5% of Taiwanese people speak Mandarin. More and more, countries are showing support for Taiwan, especially the United States, Japan, and several European allies. This growing backing has helped boost Taiwan's position on the world stage and pushed back against China's claims that reunification is only a matter of time. Things like the Taiwan Relations Act, which guides U.S. arms sales and unofficial ties with Taiwan, and defense partnerships like AUKUS, show how democratic countries are working together to counter China's growing influence in the region. AUKUS, formed in September 2021, is a security alliance between Australia, the UK, and the US, aimed at strengthening military power in the Indo-Pacific. One of its key features is helping Australia build nuclear-powered submarines to boost its naval strength. Now, Taiwan isn't officially part of AUKUS, but the alliance still plays a role in protecting stability in the region. It sends a message that countries are prepared to push back if China tries to take aggressive action, and that benefits Taiwan, even indirectly. In August 2022, tensions between China and Taiwan surged after U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taipei, a major political statement that highlighted growing American support for Taiwan. In response, Beijing launched massive military drills around the island, simulating a blockade and showing off its readiness for potential conflict. These exercises included ballistic missile launches, with some missiles flying over Taiwan, something that had never happened before. China also canceled 8 military and diplomatic talks with the U.S., including channels used to avoid conflict, making an already tense situation even more dangerous. During this time, Chinese warplanes and ships crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait and came closer to Taiwan's territory than ever, raising serious alarms about Taiwan's security and regional stability. The most recent military flex from China came in March 2025, when they sent 59 military aircraft and 9 naval vessels towards Taiwan, a major show of force. According to BNE and Telenews, tensions rose even further when Taiwan also reported 2 high-altitude balloons drifting over waters north of the island. These actions reflect China's anxiety about maintaining its grip on regional influence, while also highlighting the precarious balance of power in the Taiwan Strait, where the aspirations for democracy in Taiwan serve as a continual challenge to the mainland's authoritarian narrative. So the issue that is troubling many people is the question of whether this tiny island could actually trigger the next world war. While this may sound dramatic, there is some adequate reasoning behind the idea. In May 2024, the National Interest reported that if China invaded Taiwan, a World War III could follow. They noted how war concerns are gripping Washington and Beijing, stating that everyone is on edge as Chinese state media sources hint that they might initiate an invasion of Taiwan sometime soon. Taiwan, for its part, is trying desperately to skirt a dangerous line, stand up for their sovereignty while also getting Beijing to calm down. The prestigious outlet added that Taiwan, under President William Lai, finds itself in a tough position as it navigates the complex dynamics of asserting its sovereignty while seeking to avoid escalation with China. Unlike during the 1996 Taiwan Strait crisis, the United States no longer enjoys undisputed regional dominance and increasingly relies on allies like Japan, which has pledged to defend Taiwan, thereby shifting the strategic landscape. Meanwhile, China has amassed significant military advantages, including advanced anti-access area denial (A2AD) capabilities, extensive cyber warfare resources, and formidable missile arsenals. raising the stakes for Taiwan's defensive strategy. The potential for conflict over Taiwan is alarmingly high, given the island's strategic location in the South China Sea, a critical maritime route for global trade and military transit. Any military action by China, whether a blockade or invasion, would not only provoke a direct response from Taiwan and its allies, but could also trigger a broader confrontation involving the United States and its partners, complicating an already tense geopolitical landscape. The U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity has been intended to deter Chinese aggression by leaving it uncertain about the level of American intervention in any conflict. However, this ambiguity also risks miscalculations that could escalate into war. An attack on Taiwan could severely disrupt global supply chains, especially in technology and semiconductors, inflicting damage on the world economy comparable to or potentially surpassing the impact of the Ukraine-Russia war. Given this context, Taiwan stands at the center of a geopolitical flashpoint, where local tensions could erupt into a conflict with far-reaching global consequences, making this tiny island a potential trigger for the next world war. So the important thing to look at here is whether Taiwan can successfully maintain its independence without sparking war. As Taiwan navigates the challenge of maintaining its independence amid increasing pressures from China, its approach to defense and international relations has evolved considerably. The island has ramped up its defense spending significantly, investing in advanced technologies and capabilities to fortify its military presence, while demonstrating a commitment to self-defense. In March 2025, Taiwanese President William Lai Ching-te announced a significant increase in the island's defense budget, projecting that it will exceed 3% of the economic output as Taiwan undertakes a comprehensive military overhaul in response to the escalating threat from China. This initiative not only focuses on acquiring the latest military equipment, much of which is sourced from the United States, but also aims to enhance personnel retention by offering higher pay to service members. Additionally, the military seeks to lengthen compulsory national service from 4 months to 1 year, reflecting a commitment to strengthen its defense capabilities and ensure a robust readiness in a tense geopolitical environment. U.S. military support remains crucial, providing Taiwan with access to modern arms and reinforcing its deterrence strategy, which is increasingly characterized by Taiwan's porcupine strategy. President Donald Trump's assertion that Taiwan should increase its defense spending to around 10% of its gross domestic product highlights a significant commitment to supporting the island's defense against Chinese aggression, indicative of a willingness to back Taiwan if it takes the necessary steps to bolster its military capabilities. This recommendation reflects not only an acknowledgement of the growing threats from China, but also serves as a strategic signal that the United States is prepared to stand by Taiwan, especially if it actively seeks to fortify its defenses. Such a massive increase in defense spending would undoubtedly concern China, as it could enhance Taiwan's military readiness and resilience, thereby complicating China's strategic calculations regarding military action. This approach focuses on creating a robust defense that is difficult for a potential aggressor to overcome, in turn enhancing Taiwan's resilience against military threats. Beyond military measures, Taiwan is leveraging its soft power through its thriving technology sector and democratic values, positioning itself as a model for governments in contrast to China's authoritarian regime. Additionally, as China faces a slowing economy and rising internal pressures, its capacity to project military power abroad could be tempered, offering Taiwan a potential window to maintain its sovereignty without provoking outright conflict. Ultimately, Taiwan may be small, but it holds enormous power, not just in chips and trade, but what it represents: freedom, resilience, and the unwillingness to back down. And for Beijing, that might just be the biggest nightmare of all. What about why no one wants to live in Sweden?